What if what we call nature, besides many other things and many other roles that it plays in our life, such as giving us nurture and helping us sustain each other in this existence here? What if along these and many other roles, visible and invisible, that nature is playing, nature also plays the role of a sort of energetic grid? What if, when we are in nature, like in a forest, as I am right now, what if there is a sort of energy which I am being fueled with? Because I think it's a common fact by now that so many people recount how energized they feel after they come back from a trip in the mountains or in a forest or in anything that is having a lot of natural environment. We've all been feeling energized after we spend some time in nature. So what if nature in its natural form acts like a sort of energetic grid and we get recharged by it just by being near it? Because I've experienced this effect where I stop feeling hungry, for example. I'm not hungry when I'm in nature. And especially if I go to wild areas. I forget about food. I forget about even being thirsty. Of course, I drink water, but most of the times I forget. The hours pass and I just don't feel stressed by hunger or. And then what also happens for me is that many times I get so many inspirations, so many insights, so many ideas each time I am in nature. And what also happens is like not only ideas, but also it's like my spirit gets rejuvenated. I stop feeling less afraid to speak my ideas. I stop feeling less afraid to or ashamed to just be who I am. So it's not only my mind that feels more clear, it's also my soul that feels much more at peace, accepting itself exactly as it is and just being itself exactly as it is. What if we would have continued to live our lives in symbiosis with nature? We would have been extremely energized all the time. Maybe the food consumption would have been minimum. I know that now some minds might come and say, oh, but it's not like that, Denisa, because animals live in nature all the time and they eat each other, so your argument is not standing. Yeah, but I actually think that there is something about human beings which makes us different than animals. Yes, we have an animalistic side for sure, and probably even that side is the one that feels hungry or afraid. But we also have a different side to us, which is the human side, which makes us be able to tame our instincts. We can feel afraid but stand our grounds, while an animal will always flee away. We can transcend our animalistic nature, and this is what distincts us as human beings. And it is my core feeling, which has zero need of explanation. I have zero need of explaining or finding reasons for the minds that want to argue with this. There will be zero arguments made here. It is my core feeling within my core heart that knows that we are able to live in nature in symbiosis, being energized by it, without needing to brutally kill other life forms in order to sustain ourselves. I actually think it's actually the reverse. I think we die and we are mortal because we kill and destroy other things, and we consume them by killing them brutally and violently and without their approval. This is why we are mortal. This is why we die, because we consume death. But it's just natural to breathe the oxygen created by a forest and to get energized by it through the chemicals in the air itself. And this is one geniusly brilliant, amazing concept, which I've heard it on the channel of the user called Furley, which is a Spanish guy and has its own memories of how the earth looked before this devastation started to take over. He has its own memories, and he depicted how we were consuming airborne proteins. So we were just breathing proteins into our body, and we were sustaining ourselves into existence just by breathing. And I don't have this specific memory, but what my soul and my heart truly knows and feels deeply to be true, in my case, so I could call it, I have the memory of being able to just be energized by nature and live just by the energy that we get from nature without needing to kill anything. Not even a single plant. And be nourished in unimaginable ways. Nothing would be missed. No taste, nothing. Because the nourishment that we would get from this energy of nature, it would be undescribable. Think about, instead of eating a certain plant, just approaching it and standing next to it and being energized by its energy in, let's say, 1,000,000 times more ecstatic and more tasty, let's say, than if you would eat the plant itself. And then you could go to anything in this way, to any type of living form from Earth, including animals. You could just stand next to a deer instead of eating the deer, and you could just spend time with the deer. Just hug it, just stand next to it, just stay by it. And you would be energized and infused by its energy 1,000,000 times more fulfilling than killing her and eating her. So I feel that it is an objective recounting that many people have experienced, that whenever they've went on a trip, they came in nature, whenever they went on a trip in nature, they came back feeling rejuvenated. So I feel this might be the actual case, that nature, and especially forests, create a sort of energetic grid that nourishes us each time we enter into its field. And now, if we would look at the opposite of this, what has happened in our current modern society, it's that our modern society, what has our modern society has been doing? It has been destroying our natural energetic grid, the forests. it has been destroying the nature to create an artificial grid called electrical grid. So we die slowly by having our true natural energetic grid provided by nature taken away. So we live in these cities which literally they take our life away instead of giving life. But whenever we go into a forest, life is given to us. So now with the advent of technology, and in the last 20, 30 years, most of us, we have been again fooled. Fooled and like tricked to unimaginable, again to an unimaginable degree. Tricked to think that we were given a benefit with this freaking technology and just having access to a phone, and now you can talk with your guy or you with your girl 1,000, 5,000 miles away. Oh, what a benefit. But who sees how much has been lost just for some 2, 3 small benefits, apparent benefits, because we don't even know how we would be in our natural sense if we would be living in accordance with the rhythms of nature and its energy and its heartbeat. Maybe we would even be able to communicate at a distance using our minds, or biolocate, or use telepathy. We don't even know how it would be if we would start living again naturally in symbiosis with our nature, inner nature and outer nature. So again, as I said, now everybody lives with its eyes 8-9 hours per day according to research and study. A medium of 8-9 hours per day, people are living with their noses in a screen. We are living in cemented boxes called apartments, staying with our eyes in an artificial lighting device called a screen, thinking we are seeing beautiful sceneries on that screen. Whereas here in reality, nature, where paradoxically those beautiful sceneries and images are most of the time taken by, they are photos from nature, well, that nature will soon remain only in photos, because this nature here, is consistently day and night being destroyed. And thus our true energetic grid is being taken away. This is what happens. And this might be an actual invisible, might have been an actual invisible and deliberate strategy for this adoption of technology, just to segregate us even more from nature. Give us an entertainment to keep us away from it. Now we have been boxed in cemented boxes called apartments, and we live our lives in cemented boxes like in a graveyard. We are dead before even dying. We live our lives in a box, looking at a freaking screen, commenting all day on all sorts of like threads and YouTube videos and Facebook posts and whatever, thinking that that's life. And again, the true human being would ever consider that to be life. So I think if we want to save ourselves and to save our life for real, I think we need to start having usual trips in nature. We have to come back to nature once per week. As much as we can, we have to take our time and spend 2-3 hours in nature, as much as we can. This is a life saver, literally. Just by being in nature, our mind clarifies and we start seeing reality more clearly. We start feeling more empowered, more clear-minded. Inspiration and ideas start to come. Our body gets rejuvenated also. So we need to make it a constant practice from now on to spend as much time in nature as possible. Nature needs its humans back, and we need our nature back. So humans and nature need to live together once again.